Roger Stone here. Every day you wait, your money loses value, but gold and silver don't follow those same rules. American Sovereign Bullion gives you access to a nationwide wholesaler network, helping you secure aggressive pricing on real physical metals. Call 844-272-2428 now to get your free gold and silver guide to learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver, delivered right to your door or with a gold IRA. Visit asbgold.com. That's asbgold.com for your free gold and silver guide today.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
This is The Other Side of Midnight.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
With Walter Sterling.
Dave Scott, lost in space, the other side of midnight.
Danger, Walter Sterling, danger.
My God, there's Dave Scott, a known Canadian. Welcome to the other side of midnight, Mr. Dave.
Oh, my God. I'm on the air with Walter M. Sterling. I am loving this. Loving it.
Can you handle it? Is it possible for you to manage this?
Absolutely barely. I am talking with a known American.
And I am talking with a known Canadian who has connections to outer space.
It's good to hear from you, my friend. Thank you for having me on with you tonight.
Now, Ross Coulthart of News Nation says it's possible the President of the United States is going to release information about UFOs and aliens tomorrow.
Yeah, we are all waiting on pins and needles for this information to come down. And you know, he says, the president, that is, in his very poignant voice, that some of the things they're going to be releasing is very interesting. Very interesting in regards to the UFO files. And the question is, what is interesting? I've been talking with a lot of my fellow UFO cohorts earlier on today about this subject. And outside of actual quality videos and, you know, we're not going to get crash retrievals, Walter. We're not going to get any sort of wonderment of where the alien bodies are. I mean, that's the stuff we want to know. But, I mean, I guess you got to start someplace. But I also believe that we are going to see a lot of retracted information. Okay, information that is, you know, blacked out. But like if you had, you know, investments in shares in Sharpie, the pen company, you're probably going to make a lot of money because everything is going to be blacked out on these pieces of paper, all the good stuff that we know.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to see it, though. I want to see how this is going. But one of the big tales about this right now is there are numerous people at the Pentagon who are allegedly quite against this. The alphabet agencies do not want him coming out with this information. They do not want a lot of this actually released because they feel that it could harm some sort of American safety, whether it's in the air or whether it's coming from space or maybe the space pirates that Ted, what's his name in Texas? Ted Cruz talked about a couple of years ago because, you know, space pirates, you know, they'll come down, they'll steal your candy, and then they'll leave and not even say thank you. I mean, it's very rude of them. But that's kind of where we're at right now with everything.
Is that what Senator Cruz said?
He literally, well, he did. I made up the last part, but literally said we have to be worried about space pirates.
Well, remember what Stephen Hawking said.
What did he say?
What he said was, if there are aliens from other planets and they come here, you better run for your lives. He said, you better be scared out of your mind. They are not going to come here to make friends.
I would agree with you.
He said they're going to come here to take over the planet, to repopulate the planet. It's not going to be good. They're going to come here for your water.
Water, gold, minerals, maybe even diamonds and pearls. Maybe that's why we have them going through the ocean, because they want all the pearls.
Yeah, the pearls. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
It's all about the pearls, Walter.
Now, listen,
we can't really do anything about that.
Dave Scott, do you have any other theories about what could be released?
I'm thinking that we are going to get some information on crash retrievals, that potentially that we have seen these objects in action, that we've tried to retrieve them but haven't been successful. We might get news of more stories and close encounters. We may even get a signal. You know, that's what I've been calling for a while. The easiest way for the government to dump out of this subject of what's happening on Earth is that if President Trump came out and said, we found a signal, like the WOW signal of the 1970s, where we picked up a signal from a Goldilocks zone planet in a different solar system, and my goodness, this does not sound like space. This sounds like it is technologically advanced. That's what I think should happen. They won't. We'll probably get more grainy videos from your 1968 black and white television with rabbit ears that has a better picture than the videos we will get. I mean, I don't mean to sound snarly or negative about this, Walter, but it is a little frustrating because usually what we get, the UFO world, you know, blows up like they just won the World Series, but you have to be able to sit back and look at all the information to see whether or not it's going to benefit moving the topic forward.
Do you think they actually have aliens, or do you think they just have technology?
I think they will talk about the technologies, and I don't even think they'll admit that they have crash retrievals. I think we're going to see more videos. I think we are going to see, people talking about reports about how these objects are going through military airspace and public airspace. We're going to get a threat narrative reformation of information that we have to protect our skies over the United States of America, because apparently these craft are only a threat in American airspace. Other countries around the world, including Canada here, where we don't have much flying unless you live within 100 miles of the border, we don't have that threat narrative, according to the Department of National Defense. Other countries have stated that as well. Mexico has as well. So remember this. Threats equal budget. And the bigger the threat, the bigger the budget. So if all of a sudden they start throwing a lot of money at this subject, it's probably because they want study money and they want to be open and have that money to do whatever they want with it when it comes to this subject.
Dave Scott, what do you think the purpose of Space Force is? Do you think this is going to come with an announcement about the need to expand Space Force and to establish its incredible importance?
Absolutely, it could. Absolutely, it could. I think a lot of people in the United States have been wondering what the whole purpose of it has been for the entire time. And yet we just do not seem to know. Okay,
the purpose seems to be that it's a sitcom. It's a very good sitcom.
Well, and they have nice uniforms. And a good flag and logo.
Excellent logo.
Excellent logo. But, I mean, the reality is Space Force is allegedly supposed to be there to monitor other countries' satellites, namely Russia and China, okay, because they want to know what kind of defense systems that they have up there. I believe they already know. But a part of that, from what I have heard, is that they are also monitoring other areas to see about UFOs. There is a UFO component to Space Force. And Lou Elizondo, who ran the ATIP program at the Pentagon back in the early 2000s, he originally worked for Space Force as well regarding UFOs. Travis Taylor, who people may recognize his name as being the top scientist at the very famous television show, The Hunt for Skinwalker Ranch out in Utah. He is part of Space Force on their UFO task force. So there are a lot of things going on.
Is he like a major in Space Force?
I don't know what his rank. I think he's a citizen scientist for Space Force.
All right. Listen, you're great, Dave Scott. How do we find you online? How do we hear your great Canadian radio show?
always at spacedoutradio.com. And you can always check us out on YouTube, Spaced Out Radio. Download us for free on every major podcast network, including iTunes and Spotify.
Listen to this podcast now
On the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.